Hey, what's up guys, it's Matt, and today I just wanted to do a video about what I personally take to clinic and carry on me every day. So it's kind of like a what's in my pocket type thing. I started my summer clinical rotation, so just this week we did 2 days. Next week we'll start threes for like the next 3 or 4 weeks. So, and I'll do a different video about how that's been going. But today's just going to be kind of a quick, like, what do you take every day, or what do I take every day? So first and foremost, the most important thing that is with me at all times when I'm in the hospital, what's always in my pocket is my wallet. It has my ID. As far as driver's license, my state issued ID, it has my proof of basic life support, that kind of thing. Most importantly, it has my debit card, so I can go get lunch. I don't have to constantly run back up to the department to get my wallet. So I always have that with me. My keys for like my car, I leave those in the department in my backpack usually, just so they don't jingle around or anything like that. So next thing I always have with me, of course, is my badge lanyard here. I've taken my badge off just because it has a lot of identifying information about me. So you see it's a nifty little Star Wars C-3PO and R2-D2 on it. My mother-in-law actually got this for me at the local street fair. Thank you. I really like this. I wore it last semester as well. The next most important things that I always take with me and always have on me when I'm going around is my mini composition notebook. I got this last semester, and for jotting anything down, so we just started a summer rotation, so obviously things like door codes to the department, door codes to supply rooms and various units, stuff like that. It's nice to jot down also when you're running in, for instance, to do a vent check, to be able to jot all that stuff down. You know, in this particular hospital, not every room has a computer. There are a bunch of the computers on wheels, but since we don't have access to it, if I'm running in real quick and our instructor's trying to let us be a little more autonomous, so she's like kind of standing outside of the room, we can run in, jot down what we need, and you can see here just some examples of various parameters I've written down. A lot of these are actually high and low alarm parameters. Size of the ET tube, measurement at the lip or at the teeth, stuff like that. So it's definitely nice, and of course a pin. I live dangerously and usually only have one pin with me, and the rest are usually in my backpack in the department, but I've been good so far, haven't lost this pin yet. So another really important thing to always have with you when you're rotating around is a calculator. Just a small pocket. You could probably get smaller than this. I wouldn't go any bigger. It's important to be able to quickly calculate things like ideal body weight. I actually forgot this the first couple of days. So last semester I had this with me every single day. This semester I'd taken it and put it in my backpack, and I kept forgetting it. So but usually this is in my pocket every day. I mean, just to quickly punch in something to figure out an ideal body weight, or to quickly calculate a tidal volume or something. It's definitely nice. You can be really accurate with it versus ballparking. And don't be wrong, a lot of times a physician may just tell you what he wants you to put into a ventilator, but you never know. If something sounds weird to you, you can do a quick calculation. It's pretty nice to have. So alright guys, so you always want to have your stethoscope with you. Obviously you can't properly assess or evaluate a patient without one. It doesn't matter if you're in an ICU or an ED or on the floors. You need to be able to auscultate. So this is one of those mandatory things. Like, you're really in trouble if you forget this. Mine is a Littman Classic 2 SE, nothing fancy about it. It's a fairly common starter stethoscope. I never did an official video talking about this, reviewing this, because there's plenty of videos on YouTube doing just that with this exact stethoscope, so I'm not going to do that. But I really like it. This is actually a hand-me-down. This was my wife's original stethoscope from when she graduated nursing school, and she used it for a really long time. It was originally seal blue. Breakdown in the tube, of course, happens over time. There was some loose parts here on the diaphragm and around the bell, so I had sent it out to get refurbished. It was about $50 to have it refurbished, which is about $20 to $25 less than just buying another one. And then for her birthday, I think it was last year, I bought her basically the same scope that was in the peach color tube for her. And she handed me down this one, which I had redone in the forest green. Really great stethoscope. Honestly, my opinion on stethoscopes is the stethoscope that works best is the one that you can hear sounds through. To be honest, you know, if you go into an isolation room, you have to use a little like throwaway yellow pair, like those work fine. There's no reason to buy a $300 stethoscope unless you're a physician or something, or you're hard of hearing and you want to be amplified electronic ones. This is perfectly fine stethoscope. So, but don't forget it. Very important, and make sure you clean it too. Even if you're not going into like contact or droplet isolation type rooms, like it's still like patient to patient. You know, you don't want to take a potential germ or pathogen from one room to another. Of course, just the same as you would wear gloves and always wash or use hand sanitizer, like wipe down your scopes periodically. Let's see, and the last thing, and this is new for me, I didn't have this last semester in my clinic rotation, and I kind of rewarded myself with it, if you will, over the short break I had, just basically for getting all A's, and I really wanted one anyway, just to use for clinic, but I got a new watch. So I don't typically ever wear watches, but I found myself having an issue trying to count respiratory rates and be able to watch a clock on the wall. So I figured, spending as much time as I am in a single place this summer, it would be nice to have, and then just for the future. So there's nothing fancy about it. It is just a simple Casio watch. Let's see if I can get it to focus there a little bit. 1 through 12 on the inside, and 13 through 24 on the outside. It's a step second hand, so it's really hard to find a sweeping second hand watch that's cheap, because obviously I'm not trying to spend tons of money on a watch. There's just too much potential for just gross stuff to happen, and like worst case I can throw this away. This was about $9 on Amazon, at least when I bought it. I'll post a link out of my old orders to where I bought it. I think it was like $9.30 with free shipping or something like that on Amazon with Prime. So, and it's come in handy. I like that it has kind of the separated morning and afternoon. Not that at this point I haven't figured out how to work a 24-hour clock yet, but it's just convenient for documenting or charting or anything like that. And also because it's generally frowned upon to pull out your cell phone while in clinic. At least that's the way we were kind of like hammered into us by our directors. Like, you know, it's all about perception when you're in the units and on the floors as a student. You don't want to have anyone perceive you as maybe just being like bored or like checking your phone. You know, and I guess there's a reasonable allowance for things like child care and emergencies, but for the most part, you never know, you could be casually checking the time or something on your phone and someone thinks, you know, what, are we not interesting enough for you or something. So it's just really nice to be able to look down real quick if you need to glance at the time, if you're not in the like view of a clock on a wall. So so again, really nice. Again, and this is just Nothing fancy. Like I said, I wasn't trying to spend more than 15-20 bucks on a watch. It's water resistant, cleans up real easy with a little alcohol swab or something. So if you haven't gotten one yet, it's definitely nice. You know, it would be a shame to have someone like hawk a sweet sputum loogie all over your like brand new like $300 Apple Watch. If someone did that to this, I would just wipe it off and keep going, and not feel like someone just like did that to a $300 piece of technology. So guys, and that is basically what I carry on me at all times on my clinical rotations. I do bring other stuff with me, obviously. I usually have a notebook as well as a binder that has all of my clinical stuff. We're doing a case study over the summer, so I have all that printed out, but I just don't carry that with me all the time. That would be cumbersome. You know, we have our little respiratory notes. If you go back to my original book review where I had my respiratory notes, I don't carry that with me because it's so bulky and it takes up so much room, but I do have that with me in the department every day in my backpack. I usually have at least one textbook with me too, in the event there's some serious downtime. Right now it's pharmacology, although with the pace that we've had this first couple of days of clinic, I'll probably switch that out for mechanical ventilation, just to stay on top of it, because it's been a lot of mechanical ventilation. We spent a lot of time, like I said, in the ICUs, a lot of vent checks, doing a lot of ET tube suctioning and oral care. It's been really fun so far, and I will do a whole video about my clinical experiences here after I get maybe another week under my belt, and kind of get a good feel for everything we're doing. But what I'll say right now in the short term is that this hospital I'm at, the RT's scope of practice is a lot greater than the RT's at the last facility I was at. So I'll go into detail on that in my next video. And I will probably also be doing another video, so I've had a lot of stuff building up for just the last 2 weeks. I actually went to the new student orientation, so that the next set of students getting ready to start their first year here in August. I was one of 4 people who came as second year students, so to speak, to basically have like kind of a town hall or open Q&A where we basically just introduced ourselves and then fielded questions. You know, here we are, we're unvetted in terms of like we weren't coached on how to answer things. We were just there as kind of representing the class, to kind of set some expectations for these new students coming in. So I will do a video kind of talking about how that went as well. So anyways, guys, that's what I carry on me every day I'm in clinic. Hopefully you're carrying something very similar. You might have more stuff, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you have a pocket full of alcohol swabs, maybe a handful of flushes, an ABG kit or two, of course. Always good things to carry. You know, shears, tape, anything, those are all great things to have. I just don't carry those every day because they're usually fairly available. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. As the summer goes on, like I said, I already have 2 videos that I'd like to sit down and record at some point. So I will get on that as the summer progresses and anything cool happens, of course. Stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you guys soon.